It's your girl back again. Okay, y'all, I'm back again. I was like, why not? Let's knock it out 2 times with 2 videos. Okay, but what's up, y'all? It's your girl Tae Marie, and I'm back on this thing. Welcome to Soul Food Podcast. Okay, welcome to Soul Food Podcast. This is episode 26, and we are going to call this Acknowledge the Sacrifice. I had to come back for this one because I'm reading through it and I'm just like, yeah. Hey, hot boys. I'm about to look up that song. But yeah, so acknowledge the sacrifice. Wow. What are we about to talk about, honey? I don't know, but let's get into it. Okay, so my question that I have is, why is it necessary to acknowledge past traumas and make sacrifices for personal peace and healing? On the money. I don't even know. This one good. Ow, that is a good question. I like that. I like that. Okay, well, let me see my little other notes, my studies that I got. So this says acknowledgement of past traumas is the first step towards healing, as it allows individuals to confront their pain and understand its impact on their life. Wow, that's heavy. That was just heavy on my heart. And then what I wrote down is my past experiences of bullying and taking on mental and verbal abuse, and honestly not realizing it until I got older. We even unpacked some more. Jesus. Ooh. Can we get a snap? Because we about to get in there. This is crazy. Okay. Whew. Okay. I don't know if it's hot outside or that conversation about to be hot. But let's after just reading all that, why is it necessary to acknowledge past trauma and make sacrifices for personal peace and healing? Okay, so let's just unpack what I said about my past experiences of bullying. And from what I remember this thought that still circles in my head sometimes about how I realized not only were people at school bullying me, talking about me, about my eyebrows being thick and me having a big nose and me having big lips and just me being like fluffy, a little chunky, a little thick, you know what I'm saying? Like, I always just, like, I feel like I always just been, I just grew into more of me. But, yeah, I used to deal with that at school. Then at home, I would notice the things that people would say to me that hurt my feelings. And, it was always covered up with, I'm just letting you know, or, girl, yeah, or you is getting fat. Like, damn. But who look who talking. Like, and all that, And it's one thing to hear it 1, maybe 2 times. But then when you're hearing it as a child, you're hearing it as a kid, you're hearing it as a teenager, and then you're also hearing it as a grown person. It's just like, and when you hear certain things from outside people and then even from people close to you, you start to carry that. Yeah, you start to believe that that's who you are. it took a long time for me to look at myself in the mirror, because all I saw was the perception people threw at me, to the point I didn't even want to see this girl. People at my neck, she must be smacked, boy. Who is this? Till I had to really look at myself and be like, what do you like about you, Taelr'd? What do you like about you? And then once I start realizing the features and who I look like, I started looking at the people connected to me. Not in a bad way, but where I get it from. Who I look like. And a lot of past trauma does have to deal with a lot of mental and verbal abuse. You know, talking down on you or playing with your mind, a little bit of manipulation, you know, and you carry that on. And a lot of it starts, within the home, because, you know, you get into it because, I mean, ultimately you don't know that that's what's going on. You were just born into this. This is how your people talk to you. So you cuss everybody out and get in everybody's face. That's just how my people talk to me. And that's how I talk to people. But you can't do that. You can't be talking to people like this. Girl, what you can't, because you might meet somebody that'll be like, whoa, you make me feel uncomfortable. I'm going to keep my distance from you. Or you might meet somebody that means that energy and now you in jail because they thinking you being aggressive, but that's just how your people talk to each other. That's how y'all show love. Y'all getting in people's face. You crack jokes. You might tear them down a little bit, but that's all love. You know I like your big back butt. You know y'all care about you, but you don't even know that person got self-esteem issues about that. That person is the only big person in their family. And their family made them feel like the oddball out all their life. But you know what else? That comes back to why that past trauma impacts you so deeply, because that same person that may be big in their family and all the women in their family small and skinny and dainty, but you the only one with a good heart. They don't got no good heart. That's why they don't even want you to see their heart. They just want you to know that you tall, you big, you dark. I'm pretty, I matter. They get into that colorism. Let's talk about it. But it's just like, it's like things like that. It's things like that. What other things? Maybe you being the mixed child and the rest of your siblings are black, or all your other siblings are white. You gotta hear the black dad jokes. Especially if it hurts your feelings for the fact that your dad don't show up. Now you got that in your mind. Black dads don't show up for nothing. And that may not be true. It's just whatever is going on with your parents, that's the reason why your daddy not there. Maybe your daddy just a deadbeat. Maybe your dad and your mom don't see eye to eye. Maybe secretly your mom is keeping your dad from you. Maybe it was a situation where your dad only won one night and your mama got pregnant, and she don't know how to tell you that because she's too ashamed to admit that's how you came into her life. And sometimes it be situations like that too, where the mom gets a little bitter, looks at you and reminds you of that. It impacts you because then it sticks with you. It creates a whole new perception that doesn't even have to be true. It just is something that you went through. And again, like, nobody's denying you of your feelings or telling you that you shouldn't feel that way. But it's important to understand your situation at hand. You know, like I told y'all before, I was born in a family where I have multiple brothers and sisters. And I'll sit here and admit, in a situation like that, it is very hard to have that one person's attention when you got a whole group of other people that want their attention as well. And that is very hard on the person. Me being a parent, and if I got the kids with me, multiple kids wanting my attention for certain things and my praise for certain things that they do, that is mentally draining. You know, especially when you know they just want to pull, like, give me some type of attention. You know, I understand that now because I'm a parent. But as a little girl, yeah, I know how it feels to want to pull at attention and wanting just the attention. Or if I get a compliment, I don't want to feel small because said person didn't get the same compliment. It's a lot. Next thing I have is healing often requires sacrifices, such as letting go of unhealthy relationships or habits to create peaceful and nurturing environments for personal growth. And what I wrote down is the reason why I cut off people or make certain sacrifices in my life is to truly walk in the shoes of said things not being in my life. For example, my hair. My hair has been a big topic in my life ever since I cut off my locks. Like I said, I really don't be caring for the attention, but you know, one thing I wanted to do was to let go. And one thing I know for a fact of when I cut my hair, it's the action of letting go, and then also physically being reminded of the change. You know, what I changed is my hair. It brings new attention, you know, because ever since I cut my hair, I've got good and bad compliments. And one bad compliment I received was a guy telling me that I was crazy and that I look crazy. Why would I do that to myself? And it put me in the position, because it kind of brought me down a little bit, because I didn't want the attention on me anyways. You see what I'm saying? But it also put me in the position to bring myself back up, which I had to tell him, you know, this is my hair and I love my hair. I'm sorry that you feel this way, but it's not your hair. And you know, he was just telling me, like, you know, whatever. But again, I also had to remind him of how some black men, I'm being nice, I'm not gonna say all, but some black men that I have came across have spoke about us as women, especially black women, wearing our natural hair. And I feel like men, maybe even some women, don't remember, or they do, they don't want to talk about it. But I was born in 1995. I remember shows, I remember situations. I remember playing dolls and girls throwing the dark-skinned baby doll to the side and saying, I don't want the ugly baby. I was in the era of where the same girl that just threw that ugly baby to the side is the same skin color, and she'd rather pick up the blonde hair baby with white skin. This is something that black women soon will have to get into. And nobody's saying nothing's wrong with their bust downs and their weaves and all that stuff and their wigs and whatever. Do whatever you want to make you feel pretty. You have that right. But at the end of the day, that's still a trauma that Black women go through. Our hair, our natural hair, the hair that they told us to put up, the hair that they told me that they'll tell me it's not done, but this is how it's growing out my head. Well, it's twisted right now, but you get what I'm saying. You telling me that I'm not accepted. I have to hide myself. No, my hair needs sunlight. Today, I'm gonna rock my hair. My hair can form and do different things. Like, you know, trust and believe me, I used to be very self-conscious about my hair. This isn't the first time I cut it. The first time I cut it was in high school. And I felt free. I feel like I cut so much of it. I only had like this of it. And I didn't care because for so long I was told what to do to my own hair. And I didn't like that. I wanted to express myself. My hair is my muse. What I had to acknowledge was I can't let people make me feel any type of way about me. Even when people try to ask me or, you know, whatever, it's like, don't worry about why. Don't worry about why. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's just because making sacrifices, acknowledging it, and then making the decision to do it for your own peace, for your own healing. You got to face that. You know, there's still some things that I need to heal from that I'm avoiding because I don't even know how to bring up the conversation or start. But I also know that me not fixing that said problem is leaking into a whole nother issue, which is not good internally, especially if I want to develop healthy connections. When you're put in positions to make change, like again with my hair, I made the change not only to start over, because I'm not starting over my locks. This ain't it, y'all. This is just bed hair. But it's for me to start over, you know, regrowing my hair. But it was also a strategy to build myself up as I'm going through this change. You know, standing up to that man. Regardless of what anybody feel. I could look hideous. Y'all could say that I look hideous. That's fine. But either way it goes, this is something I got to deal with. You don't got to deal with this. You know? This is something that I'm going to have to fix within myself. I'm going to have to do. That's nothing for the next person to worry about. They can say they judge me. That doesn't do anything for me. Especially if it's ignorance and it's not really helping me. It's just to put me down. I don't have to listen to you. I don't have to do what you say. I don't have to intake what you're throwing at me. You said what you said, and that's fine. Once you remove yourself and remove anything to get in your mindset to make you feel less than or whatever, I feel like that's very healing, because it doesn't mean that you don't have to be in certain environments with them. If you're not ready, don't do it. Okay, so viewer question of the week is, what sacrifices have you made in your healing journey, and how has it contributed to your personal peace? The sacrifices I have made is really creating boundaries and honestly turning away from the things that I used to be eager to do. For one, to kind of block out distractions, because even though I'm the type of person where I guess, what is it called, FOMO, I love to have a good time, I love to be with the people and do different things, but I made a sacrifice and told myself, like, playtime like that, I'd rather do it with my son or do it with the kids, you know. Me, I'd rather go do some self-care, get to know myself, have some peaceful time, whatever. And, you know, make time for the important people in my life. I feel like what I sacrificed is really the going back and forth. Especially if it gets rowdy or hostile, I don't feel like dealing with it, because I can sit here and say I don't feel no type of ill towards anybody. Yeah, I don't feel no type of ill towards anybody. It was literally me realizing what I already was realizing while I was already in it, before I turned and went a different direction in a peaceful way. Like, it's no ill, it's just truly, you have to continue for you. People are gonna feel like this, that, and the third, but it's just like, instead of questioning it, either join in or continue doing what you rather be doing. I didn't even realize I wrote something. Well, I do. But what I said was, I've cut off things that aren't serving me anymore, or isn't motivating me to continue on moving forward. If it's holding me back, I'd rather leave where things are, but I'd rather pay attention to the people that are pushing forward. So I just feel like, yeah, if it's like this, it's like if you go to a group meeting and we all come there, we all have an idea. You see, you're working, maybe a few other people are working, and some people are chilling and socializing and doing things that aren't helping the process. I used to be the person to go and be like, hey, what's going on? But I'm tired of the answer, because me trying to stand there and figure out what's going on over here, I'm also letting the progress down, because I'm too worried about why over here nobody wants to do it, when simply I have to realize because they don't want to. And that's fine. That's fine. I please know, you can't force people to do anything. They just got to do that for themselves. You can't motivate everybody. They got to find that motivation for themselves. And that's fine. But you can't stop. You can't stop. Don't you stop. You keep going. And when you done and finish and want to celebrate, then that's when you say, well, where you been? Oh, I've been like, dang. Well, it's good to see you here. I don't know. Like, it's just like, yeah, that's it. That's it. And that's all. You keep doing for you, so you don't be like, man, if it wasn't for, should have kept going. Come on. The turtle kept going in the race, okay? The hare was the one over here too cocky. Don't get too cocky now. You gonna end up losing. You getting distracted. You want to take a nap. You want to eat some carrots. But yeah, like, so that's what I'm saying for that. If it's not motivating you, pushing you towards greater things, if it's not genuine, if it's not telling you and reminding you, really talking your name in the rooms and stuff like that, then, you know, whatever. Do what you gotta do for yourself. All I'm saying is ain't nothing wrong with some help. But where are you trying to receive help from? Because you can't drink out of a cup that's already empty. Who's pouring in your cup? Who's sending you links to different things? Who's telling you about different situations? Who knows that you got to pay for school, but knows that there's a pop-up shop coming in and surprise you with a ticket for a table? Who are those people in your life? Because that's where you need to be headed. Not the people that's sitting there talking about the same stuff, not doing anything. And I'm not trying to knock anybody down that feels stagnant. But I'm saying you can't keep on complaining about being stagnant and you still sitting there talking about what would happen if you would get up. Get up! Get up! Get up! It ain't gonna get done. Unless you got some magic powers, you just talk it up and it's boom, boom, blah, 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 blah. Unless you AI or something. But no, it ain't that. This real life. So you gotta get up. You gotta make it happen. And while you making it happen, somebody gonna see you and bless you and be like, oh my God, your product, your service, your whatever is the best thing I ever experienced. It just ain't gonna happen as soon as you get up. It may happen 3 years from now. But you will never know because you still sitting here. So them 3 years about to turn into 6, 10, 15. Come on now. You ain't gonna feel like it in a minute. So get up while you still got it going. Get up. Take a chance on yourself. Move quietly. Don't tell nobody nothing until it's done. And you confident with it. It's been running for a month now. And you in the swing of it. But yes, shout out to my viewers. We are out of here. Oh yeah, and if you feel like this message need to get out there, go ahead and get them hip to some soul food, okay? But shout out to my viewers. I'm sorry, I'm hot. Where was this heat in August? Like, but shout out to my viewers. Thank you for coming and watching the show. You know I love y'all. Please, 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 please spread the word. Let them know. Get them hip to some soul food, okay? Don't forget to go to the page. That's SOULFOOD pod POD_CLE. Okay? I thought I was raw for a minute. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube, y'all. And of course, shout out to my sponsor. Shout out to my business, Define Cosmetics. You guys already know. Tap in with your girl. Hit them links down below. And all right, y'all. I'm out. See y'all next week.